Welcome everyone to the pre-screening of Keith Code's Twist of the Wrist 2 video. Is that right? Did I get the name right there, Keith?
You got it right, Dave.
So to do that, we're here in the Hollywood Hills, the old stomping, it's not a stomping ground, you ride a motorcycle here, your old haunts as a wild youth riding through the Hollywood Hills, am I right?
Yeah, this road here is called the backside of Griffith Park, and we used to, shamelessly race here every day when it wasn't raining. And I probably learned more lessons in this 2.5 mile, 76 turn piece of road than I did on the rest of the racetracks I rode combined. So it was, yeah, in the 1970s it was sort of the thing, my everyday ride, and graduated from there to club racing. So yeah, this is nostalgia at its peak. Yeah.
To the left of Keith, we have Matt Roberts, who put the whole thing together. You're the creative mastermind behind the edits and the shooting and the filming and the special effects. And
yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily the creative mastermind is definitely Keith. He put the whole script together and worked out everything in incredible detail, but we brought his vision to reality, shall we say.
And now your son races. Your son races 125s, correct?
He does, yeah. He started in USGPRU this year, and he's been getting training from Keith, obviously.
We screened it. We watched it there at your place, beneath the avocado trees in your backyard there. And I guess just to open, we'll just kind of give everybody a kind of a taste of how it works. The backbone of the film is on a couple of guys who want to learn how to ride better. They're street riders, and some of the problems that they're encountering, and then you help them through their learning process through a series of lessons on the track.
We hear lots of advice about how to ride. Some of it's destructive advice.
What you do is you downshift to slow down.
Some friendly advice and some useful tips. Let's see how advice stacks up against the technology of riding.
Actually, the two guys they're new riders, and over the last 30 years and 150,000 students, I've started to get the idea of what people really do struggle with. So the two guys are new, not only new, but they're also novice. They're very raw riders. So they come by a copy of A Twist of the Wrist Volume 2, and they go out and they stop by the road and go, wow, I'm really having a problem with this thing, and they thumb through the book and they find an answer to it, and it the light bulb goes on.
It's like I'm afraid to push my limits, but I'm not sure what I'm afraid of.
It's me too. It's definitely my personal limit. I describe it more like a mild panic.
And then that leads to, they get some control over that, and that leads to the next problem.
It says here that understanding the performance specifications of your bike is one step in reducing throttle control survival reactions that detract from your riding.
Sounds about right. What does that mean?
And the next solution, the next problem, the next solution. So the two guys actually sort of pull the film together. They're kind of the glue that take us from one technical expose or one motorcycle riding technology point, technical skill, to the next one. And they have these problems, but they're totally real. These guys are struggling with what everybody struggles with. So but they're kind of the grease, I guess, so to speak, that keep the thing flowing.
And then it seemed to me that it was built on, or it's, how should I say, the fabric on which it goes are these SRs. Tell us about the SRs. It seems like an SR is an issue that they have to address and work through, and that leads them to the next SR. So tell us about the SR.
Right, well, SR was just something I coined from the Twist of the Wrist Volume 2 book. It was survival reactions, and I cataloged 7 at that time, and now, of course, found one more, the 8th survival reaction. And these are things that all riders are familiar with. They're the things that happen to a rider. They're the things that tense us up. They're the things that make us drop the throttle. They're the things that make us target fix, and so on. And there are 8 survival reactions that everybody who's ever ridden is 100% familiar with each and every one of them. Everybody's had them happen to them.
Everyone agrees that in some fashion, survival reactions
Survival reaction? What's that? It's like fear?
So What we know is that in order to get the technical skills together for a rider, that the big battle is just battling those survival reactions, their SRs. And so these guys, yes, that's exactly what they do. You know, they recognize those things, and then the film goes along, as the book does, to put the technical point in that will resolve that situation. And most often we show what happens when it's done right, what happens when it's done wrong. And so we got a nice balance in there, I think, on each of the technical skills that we used for the DVD.
Whatever the RPM range, we must maintain the weight transfer by continuing our throttle roll-on.
The technology that's laid out in the Twist of the Wrist Volume 2 book is the core basics of the California Superbike School, and has been the core basics of the Superbike School since the mid-90s when I researched and wrote the book. And you know, is it the best information in the world? I don't know. But we know that what we've taught has made a massive difference with every single skill level rider that exists. And it's to not put these concepts into images that illustrate those points. Well, the idea was to take the words off the page and create that bridge over to something you could see, and that's exactly why the video is, that you can see these things, because not everybody gets it off the words. Right. And that's what Matt was talking about earlier, you know, translating the words and getting the images and the concepts out of your mind and putting them on film it's a massive undertaking.